Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, a government shutdown has been avoided. We'll have the latest from Capitol Hill.
Plus, a candidate for Nebraska governor is parting ways with his campaign manager.
Ultimately, we have come to a good conclusion.
This is probably the most political that the legislature gets.
Not everyone agreeing with the new redistricting maps. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. After weeks of debate, redistricting maps have been approved by the unicameral and signed by the governor.
That's right. Lancaster County was really a big battleground in all of this, with some Democratic senators upset, saying Republicans used the pressure of a deadline to change maps in the final hour.
I actually voted no on all the maps today. I ultimately did not think this was a fair process, and I ultimately did not think it worked well, and I wanted to show my displeasure.
Yeah, Senator Hansen says on Friday, maps for Omaha and Lincoln were agreed to, only to be changed days later. Now, some are arguing the changes put Democratic senators in more rural, conservative areas, possibly jeopardizing chances of re-election. Republicans say if the maps had not been approved, it would have had a domino effect into next year.
It would have pushed the primaries back at least till June. It would have piled additional work on top of all the municipalities that have to set those elections in motion.
Lawmakers voted to pass both the legislative and congressional redistricting proposals, which will be used for the 2022 to 2030 elections.
In other political news, Nebraska gubernatorial candidate Charles Herbster asking his senior campaign advisor, Corey Lewandowski, to step back.
That's right. The campaign manager for former President Donald Trump is accused of making unwanted sexual advances toward a GOP donor at a fundraising dinner.
Herbster said in a statement, quote, "I've asked Corey to step back from this role. Corey and his family remain in my prayers," end quote. Herbster also said that he has known Corey since 2015.
Now, Donald Trump's super PAC has also severed ties with Lewandowski, as has South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem.
Another candidate for governor, Senator Carol Blood, is thanking the State Patrol for finding the source of text messages threatening her and her family. NSP says the texts were sent to someone in Adams County back in August. The Adams County attorney is now investigating. No arrests have been made. In national news, a crisis has been averted today as Democrats come together with Republicans to reach a deal to avoid a government shutdown.
But negotiations over Biden's domestic agenda does continue. ABC's Ike Ajaki is in Washington with the latest.
The bill is passed.
On the Hill, a bipartisan group of senators voting to fund the government through early December, a vote that came just hours before the deadline.
The Democratic majority has begun to realize that the way forward on basic governing duties matches the roadmap that Republicans have been laying out for months.
With one hurdle out of the way, the focus now shifts to President Biden's ambitious domestic agenda. Speaker Nancy Pelosi still promising a vote on the Senate's bipartisan infrastructure package to rebuild the nation's roads, bridges, and broadband internet today.
We are proceeding in a very positive way to bring up the bill.
But progressive House Democrats are vowing to defeat the $1 trillion package unless moderate Democrats in the Senate also agree to a larger $3.5 trillion spending bill that combats climate change, provides universal pre-K and child care, and lowers the costs of prescription drugs. The group blaming Senators Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin for putting both bills at risk. Today, Senator Manchin finally publicly revealing some of his demands.
I thought it was shared with other people within that maybe had not been. By now, the 1.5 was always done from my heart to basically what we could do and not jeopardize our economy.
House Democrats responding that Manchin's offer still wasn't enough for them to vote for the infrastructure bill, but they are ready to negotiate.
We are not in the business, right, of wasting this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Now, both Senators Manchin and Sinema revealed today that they've been privately communicating with Leader Schumer that they will not support a $3.5 trillion spending bill, along with other concerns and priorities they have with the package. Ike Ajaki, ABC News, Washington.
And as we continue covering the nation tonight, Memphis police say a student shot another student at an elementary school today.
Investigators say it happened this morning.
They entered the school. They did find a student had been shot. I believe the student is 13 years old. That student has been transported to the Bonners Children's Hospital and is listed in critical but stable condition.
No other injuries have been reported. Police say the suspect was a student who turned himself in to officers at a nearby precinct. The school was placed on lockdown and parents were notified to pick up their children at a local church. Now let's get you a check of your weather with Chief Meteorologist John Dissauer. John, can we expect some more rain this evening?
There is a chance for a few spotty showers around the area. We ended up with a bit more sunshine than I was thinking we would see this afternoon, but we are seeing some showers and thunderstorms redeveloping and just to the east of Lancaster County. You can see on the satellite imagery where we do have a hole of some sunshine that's popped out over Lancaster County, also down towards Gage County. And this is where the showers and thunderstorms are at, just to the east of Lincoln and between us and as well as between Omaha. These are all moving off to the north-northwest right now as an area of low pressure in the mid-levels is trying to spin through the area. And you'll notice there are some stronger thunderstorms well to the north of Lincoln at this point up towards the West Point area. Rainfall, nothing in the gauge today at Lincoln, just a trace. Same story down towards Beatrice, but nearly an inch of rain out towards Kearney and higher mounts further west. Temperatures a big range across the area. 60 right now in Kearney. We've got 84 degrees ahead of the cold front in Omaha. For the rest of this evening, we'll keep mostly cloudy skies around 68 degrees by 8, 66 degrees by 10 o'clock. We're going to keep kind of a mixture of some sun and clouds through the day tomorrow, but also, again, a chance for some spotty showers. We'll take a closer look at that and what you can expect for high school football games tomorrow night. That's coming up in my Storm Alert Team forecast.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Lincoln's mayor has made a big push for affordable housing.
And the city has answered with plans for 98 new units to go up near Wyuka Cemetery.
Things that we have not seen a lot of in the last 20 years. Our Affordable Housing Action Plan looked at one of the tools for building affordable housing, our tax credit projects, which have been happening around the country but have not been happening in Lincoln as much.
After last night's council meeting, funding got bumped up from around $1.6 million to $2 million. The game plan is not just to build housing, but for people to get a good value out of living there too.
They're thinking about garden space areas and others. And then I think what we'll hear later from the developer are all the energy efficiency efforts that they're trying to do to create a very sustainable, energy efficient operation as well.
Now, there are also plans to pave gravel roads in the neighborhood on the western edge of Wyuka Cemetery. That's not to say the plan is universally accepted. Neighbors at the council meeting are worried about increased traffic and the vetting process for their future neighbors. And other news from the city, an update on the Greenlight Lincoln program. It was created to renovate the traffic system along with transportation, economic, and environmental improvements. Officials say so far the initiative is working.
The value of Greenlight Lincoln as we work to grow a smart, safe, sustainable, healthy, and vibrant city is clear.
The program started in 2016. It's updated 90% of traffic lights in the city. There's been 68 million less vehicle stops, and drivers have saved $24 million in fuel. Plus, it's helped eliminate greenhouse gas emissions. Now to California, where authorities are searching for a woman who's been missing since June. 30-year-old Lauren Cho was last seen near Joshua Tree National Park after a fight with her boyfriend. Corey James has the story.
We met in choir in high school at Hunterdon Central.
Lynn Girardi tells us this is where a friendship with Lauren Cho began nearly 15 years ago.
Most people call her Elle. I always called her Lauren. It was just my thing.
A bond that got stronger when the two worked together at Girardi's tattoo and piercing shop in Flemington.
She worked here at my studio. The plan was I was going to teach her how to pierce, so she was my apprentice.
And Girardi says Cho did that job here for about a year until last November she decided to quit and travel cross country to California.
The pandemic was wearing on her, and she had this opportunity to change scenery in her life and go after a dream of cooking and chef work.
Loved ones say Cho left the Tri-State area with her boyfriend and landed in Yucca Valley near Palm Springs. Back in June, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office says she was reported missing after allegedly leaving an Airbnb resort she was staying at with her boyfriend and other guests. Investigators say Cho was upset and walked away from the resort, leaving behind personal belongings. 3 hours later, authorities say her boyfriend reported her missing.
She is super caring, very loving, and just a really loyal and good friend.
It has now been 3 months since anyone has last seen or heard from Cho, and the unknown is devastating her family, who has started this Facebook page to raise awareness.
My pain or suffering at all, it's not even at the level that they must be feeling.
Meantime, search efforts are intensifying for a woman who has thousands of people hoping and praying for a safe return. In Flemington, New Jersey, Corey James, CBS 2 News.
Still to come in the news tonight, snail mail is getting even slower.
Details on the changes coming to the U.S. Postal Service next. A heads up tonight, some changes are coming to the mail.
A slowdown is on the way. ABC's Andrea Fujii explains.
They already call mail snail mail.
Snail mail is about to get slower. Beginning tomorrow, the Postal Service will adopt new standards that will delay delivery times for some mail. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy previously announced the changes to save billions of dollars.
We are not structured properly, and we have fallen out of step with the marketplace we serve.
The changes mean some first-class mail, along with magazines, flyers, and other periodicals, will arrive later, especially if traveling a long distance. The current 1 to 3 day delivery service will lengthen to 1 to 5 days. Add to that the current pandemic-related delivery delays, and critics aren't happy.
Medical shipments have gone missing. Many small businesses cannot get their products to customers, and people are getting hit with late fees for bill payments that did not arrive on time because of mail delivery delays.
Under this new plan, first-class package deliveries are not expected to be affected. They include most medications and food deliveries. But beginning this Sunday, it will cost you more to send commercial and retail packages. The higher prices are expected to last through Christmas.
The mail is already slow, that'll slow it up worse. A lot of people depend on the mail. A lot of people need the mail. So I think that'll be not a good thing.
Some post offices will also see reduced hours. Postmaster General DeJoy, a Trump appointee, has already come under fire for slower mail delivery around the election and during the holiday season last year. But supporters are praising his plans to upgrade mail processing equipment and technology, even with the Postal Service mired in $161 billion in debt. As for the changes taking effect tomorrow, people sending first-class mail are being warned to plan ahead. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist John Dessauer.
Clouds around early this morning, then some breaks in the clouds, seeing a little bit more sunshine than I thought we would see this afternoon. So we've got a mixture of sun and clouds across especially southeast Nebraska. That was the live view from Honda of Lincoln. Today, as far as how much rainfall is accumulated across the area, nothing officially at the airport in Lincoln, just a trace of rain. Same story down towards Beatrice. But head out to the west, and you can definitely see there were some higher rainfall amounts, with Kearney coming up with 86/100ths of an inch of rain. Over an inch of rain up towards Norfolk, as well as Tacoma coming up with 1 1/4 inches, and Omaha coming up with nearly 1 1/3 inches of rain. So some areas getting some very heavy beneficial rains, other areas not seeing much at all. Right now on radar, we are seeing a couple of very light showers just to the south and east of Hastings and northeast of Red Cloud, and then also some showers and thunderstorms over the far eastern part of the state, and that's where they should remain as we go through the rest of the evening hours. Now, I can't rule out the chance for a spotty shower. I do think most of us in the Channel 8 viewing area will remain dry at least through the evening hours. Now, you'll see on Stormcast it's trying to redevelop some showers back out to the west as we head through 2 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, as well as keep some showers off to the east. The reason you're seeing the showers along the state line to the east of Lincoln is that's where the cold front is at. It's going to stall out, and it's going to take a few days for it to finally move off to the east, and that's going to keep the clouds in the forecast as well as a chance for a spotty shower through the day tomorrow. Now, Stormcast at noon tomorrow keeps the skies overcast throughout the day. Again, we may see a few breaks at times in the clouds, and there could be enough moisture to bring some sprinkles down or even a spotty shower. This is taking a look at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. We'll take you into tomorrow evening as well, and you can still see that as much the same. So for high school football games, our game of the week this week is Beatrice at Waverly. And so we'll see cloudy skies at 7 and 8 o'clock as well as 9 o'clock, with temperatures starting out very comfortable, 71 degrees at kickoff, 68 degrees by 8 o'clock, and 67 degrees by 9 o'clock. Now, as we move into Saturday, we're going to keep the clouds around once again, but we'll also keep a chance for some spotty showers, as that front has just slowly moved off to the east into Iowa, extreme southeast Nebraska, and portions of Kansas. So there'll be just enough lifting of the atmosphere to help bring some showers into the area. So by afternoon, some light showers possible. This is looking at 6 o'clock and about the time when the Huskers football game starts. And yes, there will be a chance for a few light showers, I think, probably for the first quarter, maybe halfway through the second quarter of the game. And then that begins to move out of here. We'll start to dry out. In fact, skies begin to clear back to the west by 10 o'clock. We're looking for a chilly morning, I think, by Sunday morning, with more sunshine returning to the area by Sunday afternoon. How much rainfall are we talking about between now and Saturday evening? Well, not a whole lot, anywhere from really nothing to maybe as much as a ½ inch of rain in some locations that get lucky, perhaps a little higher as you get up further to the northeast towards Omaha. Otherwise, temperature-wise, right now we're sitting anywhere from the 50s to 80s, a wide range because of that cold front that's in the area. For the rest of this evening, we'll see our temperatures slowly falling off from the 70s into the 60s, eventually down into the 50s by tomorrow morning. So it will be just a little cooler with winds out of the west at 5 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, we'll start to see temperatures rebounding slightly, but we're talking high temperatures ranging from the upper 60s to mid 70s, winds fairly light from the north around to the west at 3 to 6 miles per hour. 7-day forecast then shows on Saturday 71 degrees for a high temperature. Things look much nicer, I think, on Sunday. Sunny skies, temperatures. I think there'll be enough sunshine to get our temperatures back up into the mid 70s by the afternoon. Same story on Monday, maybe a little cooler on Tuesday as a backdoor cold front pushes back into the area. And then we're talking temperatures back into the upper 60s by middle of next week.
All right. Thank you very much, John. Another local news now. Lincoln Lancaster County had the highest overdose-related deaths in the state this summer.
Channel 8's Ariana Martinez joins us from outside the Nebraska DEA office to explain the latest in the opioid epidemic.
The National Drug Enforcement Agency released the first public service announcement in 6 years after finding more fake prescription pills laced with a lethal amount of fentanyl.
One pill can kill. You don't know what's in that pill, and that one pill could have the lethal dose that could end somebody's life.
The prescription pills they are finding with lethal doses are not just pain pills, but those used for anxiety or ADHD.
These pills are made to look like that, an Oxycontin, a Xanax, a Adderall. They're made to look like that to make people think that they're legitimate, but what we're seeing is pills that have a lethal dose of fentanyl in them.
There is no way to tell if a pain pill purchased from a dealer is deadly, as only 2 grams of fentanyl could kill.
In Nebraska alone this year we've seized over 32,000 pills, and that is a significant increase, about an 800% increase from what we were seizing just a year ago.
Drug traffickers began using fentanyl to cut production costs, and over the years keep evolving their practices.
They're made by a drug trafficking organization, precursor chemicals coming in from China into Mexico where they make these in bulk. Sometimes they make them in the United States, but it really is targeting that market of people that maybe think that there's not as much stigma taking a pill or something, but we're really seeing that as a crisis across the country.
DEA agents are finding these pills in the hands of children.
Everybody needs to be part of helping this problem. And our parents need to be having conversations. Our teachers need to be having conversations. Our clergy, anybody that can, needs to talk. And we need to really get to children early.
Officers feel that educating our youth about the dangers of taking fake prescription pills will help curb their curiosity of wanting to try them. Reporting for Nebraska's most trusted news source, I'm Ariana Martinez.
Now, if you need help finding ways to start the conversation or what information to give, you're going to find a link to helpful tips from the DEA posted on our website, klkntv.com. Also, vaping is still seen among teenagers across the U.S.
According to a national survey, more than 2 million teenagers use e-cigarettes. The FDA and CDC questioned middle and high school students. They found that a quarter of them vape daily.
And out of those, 85% use flavored vapes, but the agencies say these results cannot really be compared to previous years because of the pandemic.
Not a great day on Wall Street. The Dow falling 547 points, NASDAQ down 64. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
Finally tonight, the donor who saved a 7-year-old's life was anonymous until now. A Virginia family is traveling all the way to Minneapolis to meet the stranger that changed their lives.
7-year-old Zeke is now cancer-free thanks to a bone marrow donor. The family now gets to meet the donor in Minneapolis. The organization Be the Match set up the visit as part of their annual fundraising gala. Zeke was diagnosed with blood cancer back in 2019 and had been in the hospital for over a year before receiving his life-saving bone marrow transplant.
Oh, it's great to see those reunions, especially when it comes to saving someone's life. Don't you agree? All right, that is going to do it for our news, but what do you say we get a final check of the weather with John? Any chance? What chances do we have for rain tonight?
In Lincoln, it's a pretty small chance, but we are still watching some downpours and a few thunderstorms to the east. Also, a couple light showers now developing out to the east of Hastings and also just to the northwest of Fairfield. Otherwise, for the rest of this evening, we'll see mainly cloudy skies, 68 degrees by 8 o'clock.
All right, thank you, John, and thank you all for joining us.
World News is coming up next with David Muir. We'll see you back here at 6.
With the Channel 8 Eyewitness News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
What's so extreme about the DQ Reese's Extreme Blizzard? How about all the Reese's you could dream of, all in world-famous DQ soft serve?